Okay, and so we are now on Facebook Live, or at least let's see if it works.
Do we need to be
Woo! Okay, so we are now making a video and recording on Facebook.
Okay.
And in about a little less than a minute, we'll start making an audio recording. All the video and the audio we will happily share with you guys for use in any way that's helpful for the organization. Thank you guys so much for being here, especially on a rainy, gloomy day.
Yes, it is.
Did you have to
You have headphones, but you don't have to wear them. Some people wear them, some people don't. If you do wear them, there's a knob down there to control how loud they are.
I'm probably going to go without.
That's no worries.
I play this one band and we use the in-ear monitors and it drives me crazy.
Well, I mean, it's also like you're having a conversation in the space and then listening on the headphone.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, where am I?
But for right now, I'll probably go without. If I do. I guess it'd be more hip if I wore it. Right? Are you wearing yours?
I can't hear you anything.
So I'll have to, it'll basically jump to a few automatic things. I'll come in, pay some bills, as we say,
Certainly.
tell people some of the music they've been listening to, and then I'll pivot towards you.
Okay. And do you want to speak first, or does it matter? We'll just see what happens.
Well,
Mics are going to be hot. Indeed we are. It has been a long time. 17 years. Well, I don't know. Does that mean that the show can now legally drive? I don't know. There are lots of things that we have to figure out. But no, in all seriousness, thank you for spending time with us here. We are your Tuesday afternoon alternative every 3 to 6 p.m. on WUDR Dayton Flyer Radio. A rock in the Gem City, music in all directions. Support your local music scene. Speaking of our local music scene, you not only heard Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. Please read the letter. Who would have thought they would make such amazing Americana music? Really, honestly. Dayton's own Real Lulu with Let Me. Oh, and I've got to say, Katie, what a great song. And she is continuing to make awesome music in the band Somersault. If you don't know them, check them out. You also heard Sammy K with Silver Dollar from his Civil War record. Just saw him this past Friday at the Not More Than 43 Awesomes show at the Yellow Cab Tavern. Also, Amber Hargett, Somebody Loves You. Indeed, if no one has told you that today, take it from me, take it from Amber, take it from everyone who cares about you. You are not alone. Somebody loves you. Foreman and Company, Canadian alt-rock with Sun Still Rises. Smug Brothers with Treasure in the Beholder from their 7-inch split with Honey Radar. It's not out yet, but it's coming out real soon. I promise you that. Todd Farrell Jr. with Technicolor, an acoustic version of the song that Benchmarks recorded. Cricket Bows with You Better Recognize, and the Connells with Logan Street from their terrific New Boy EP. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend with us. I'd also like to say thanks to my guests in the studio, Ron and Art of Guitar4Heroes Dayton. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to be here. Yeah.
Really appreciate you guys taking the time. I know there's so much going on these days. Let's start at the beginning.
Sure.
What is Guitar4Heroes? What do you guys do?
Well, the main thing that our organization does is we help support veterans, and veterans that may be suffering from PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other battle wounds. And we have a course that Ron and I teach that it's a 12-week course, and the vet would come in, they would get a guitar, and we would be in a group session with half a dozen vets, and we would have an hour-and-a-half session once a week for 12 weeks, and at the end of the session, the vet gets to go home with a guitar and a tuner and a case and a strap and a book and all these things that we believe and that we know help the vet to with their as a therapy for them to help them in their daily lives.
Yeah, and I can only imagine how great a need that is to have a positive outlet for all of the challenges or all of the anxiety that someone feels when they transition back from having been on active duty or having been involved in things that everybody struggles with how to process that and what does that mean?
It's you know, it's not only, you know, we found out it's not only being in a battle, overseas or something, it's you know, other issues that they may have gone through while they're in the military.
Mm-hmm.
There's been, sexual stuff,
Sure.
or other things that they've gone through, family issues, or just, PTSD can be anything.
Oh, right,
But,
right. Well, I'm curious, do the veterans who come to you, are they already musicians or are they folks who just want to get started?
We've had both, actually.
Yeah.
We actually work our classes through an organization. It's geographically, it's on Woodman by Dorothy Lane, and it's the vet center. It's at 3085 Woodman Drive.
Yeah.
But we've worked with their director, Jay Wainscott, who they are a organization that helps vets, and it's veterans that are in counseling
Yeah.
there at the vet center that we mainly work with, although we have worked with vets out at the VA Dayton.
When I sort of jump in the water here, that's how the Guitar for Heroes, it started in 2012 back in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, and to tell my story, it's sort of hard to do for me, but he knows my story and he can explain it better than I do, and I'll let Art do that here in a minute.
Sure.
But as far as I got involved in the Guitars for Heroes program around 2015. I played the piano a little bit by ear when I was growing up, and then when I had my injuries, I sort of lost it, and then I had to sort of mentally learn how to do that.
Right.
But I never played a guitar, but my family did.
Oh, and never before.
Never touched a guitar. But the counselor there at the Fort Worth VA had the Guitar for Heroes program, and so I was there seeing a counselor, and he said, I want to introduce you to the rec therapist down here. She might have some things you might be interested in. And I go down there and I see a guitar. And I said, what do you do with the? She said, well, I have this Guitar for Heroes class thing. You know, they teach. You know, and so I said, that'd be interesting. You know, she said, they're just now starting a class, but I don't have any guitars left. I said, well, I just happen to have my dad's, who had passed away like 10 years earlier. I had my dad's guitar at home in the back bedroom collecting dust. I said, I have my dad's guitar. I said, if I have my guitar, I said, she said, bring it, you can sit right in. I said, that's great. So that's where I had my first class. And the way that my brain and hand work, you know, well, I went through that class.
Yeah.
And
then you took it again.
I said, with that, I told her, I said, I enjoyed that. I said, do you have room in the next class? She said, if you want to sit in, go right in. So I just sat right in. I went through 3 beginner classes.
Yeah.
And so I kept on, well, I didn't kept on going to the beginners classes, but after
He became a regular. He became a regular there.
he
And
said,
they-
oh,
shame
you
in
come
that.
run.
No shame.
They said, oh, man.
But I'd like to just back up a little
Go
bit.
right ahead. Go right
And,
ahead.
you know, but Ron was in the Air Force, and Ron was in the Air Force for 12 years. And he was stationed in Saudi Arabia. And 25th of June in 1996 was the Khobar bombings. And I believe we lost 19.
There was over 400 injured in the bombing.
And Ron was one of the injured
survivors.
from this devastating bomb that went off. Ron was in the building behind the building that got blown up, and Ron was thrown across the room. Ron has a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, and he's also got a device that gives shocks his brain to keep everything running correctly.
Control, yeah. From after, it's probably on there, but I have, I'm not cheating.
No?
From the TBI, 4 months after I came home, I started having headaches every day that would not go away.
And you were still in the Air Force at that
I was still active duty at the
active
time.
duty.
And after about 5 days, I had a major stroke and almost died. And that's where basically I had to learn how to walk and learn how to talk and basically everything. And that's when I went home after, oh golly, I don't know how long I was in the hospital. But I had a piano, electric piano, and I sat down and I just looked at the keys and it didn't even look like, I had no idea what to do. And little by little, I started just picking at the keys and over time.
So music is great therapy.
It is.
And that's the thing that we promote in our class, where if we can teach a vet some skills, you know, that they're not going to turn into a you know,
We're not going to get a Jimmy Page.
You know, yeah, any of those guys.
Even though some of our.
But we've had some people that have really caught on, which is great. And for some vets, it's week 1 every week. But but they come back to class, and some vets have you know, mental,
Mhm.
you know, disabilities. Some have physical. We had one vet who their finger didn't move as well, and so
Right.
we had to, how can we still try to play the sport? What can we do to make it work for you? You know, so we worked individually with so many different people in the group. We let me see. I don't want to back up with too many stories, but
Stories are good.
stories
Are good in radio.
We are fortunate. Ron and I got together yesterday just to recount all of our material of how many vets how many classes we've had. We've probably helped here in the Dayton area, or vets that went through our class, about 25 vets, and we have had like 48 students.
Right.
You know, we have some of them. Let me see. We've had guitar class. We've had a ukulele class, and
Mhm.
right now we are in the process of having a
Harmonica,
harmonica class.
which everybody loves the harmonica class.
Really?
People are
Oh,
enjoying it, the
man.
vets, you know, because it's something you can take with you. It's a lot smaller than a guitar. And we've got a great teacher. His name is Adam West here in the Dayton area. And so far, we're about on week 5 with that class. So we're not going crazy, but we're making noise. That's fun.
But, you know,
That's rock and roll.
you know, like you said, people, you know, and that's why, you know, and that's why if you look at their brochure, it was, in the beginning, it was called Guitar for Heroes, and that, I moved up here, 2018 from Fort Worth to Dayton to be closer to my grandkids and my wife and myself anyway, not just me, but, I brought the Donna, the rec therapist down there, and
Yeah.
she said, Ron, she said, you've done so good down here, and they even let me in the band down in Fort Worth, and,
So Ron started the class up here
yeah,
in 2018. When he moved, he wanted to see, you know, can we make this happen?
yeah,
Right.
And Ron was mainly, had put something out on Facebook. Ron will friend anybody on Facebook,
oh, I know,
you know, and
you know, social media is, it's, you gotta watch, though, there's some,
Oh yeah.
but he
I found that out.
was able to contact a mutual friend of ours, and our mutual friend said, hey, maybe try this guy Art, you know, and we met. I am fortunate where I had a wonderful 20-year career in the Air Force. I was a musician with the Air Force Band, and traveled around the world, and really was, I say, never in harm's way. Like, you know, some of our service people who are there on the front, or there when these extreme situations happen, like the Kobar bombings that Ron was in. But, you know, I had a wonderful career, and I'm a bass player. And but you're going to hear me try to play guitar, you know, today. But
He's our instructor, though, for guitar, though.
Oh really?
yeah.
So you're the instructor.
Well, yes. So, you know, we do well together, and
That sounds like you complement one another. I like how you finish each other's stories.
Well, we've been together for about 4 years now,
Yeah.
so it's, time flies, and it's,
Yeah, indeed.
I've been blessed, and I'll put, you know, I've been blessed to have found Art, and I couldn't have found a better person to have me run the program, you know.
And which brings me to the next point. So how do we get our money? How are we able to buy these guitars to make this happen?
Right.
Well, originally, the organization in Texas, the rec therapist down there, Donna said, Ron, if you go up to Dayton, Ohio, and you put this together, of course, you're gonna wanna, Ron was gonna do the same thing. I'd like to put a band together which will help support our program. And, but Donna thought, well, it would be best if I give you 6 guitars or 8 or however many she brought. And we had a first class back in, gosh, it was the spring of 2019. And we had 7 vets that went through the class. And that was a great class.
Our class size is regularly pretty small.
Well, especially right now with the pandemic, we are, at one point, we were in Kettering, at the Kettering VFW, they have a pavilion in the back, and it was summertime, so we met outside at, for one session of classes. For a while, we were on the VA Connect. It's like Zoom,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
associated with the VA. And so that was a very struggling way to have a class.
It didn't really work too well. So.
But
But
people did. You know, we connected. And the main thing is not to learn the guitar, but the main thing is to get the vets together and how can we help each other. It's a connection, making a connection with our veterans and you know, what do they need? How can we help them?
and it's not and it's not just what's important is not just the guitar or the harmonica or the ukulele class. It's the group itself.
Yeah.
It's bringing those 5 or 6 people together, and there's always the counselor or the director
Right.
is
There's
in
always-
there.
Right.
And their class is an hour and a half long. And if someone needs to talk
Share,
or
yeah.
share,
Right.
Sometimes
they're,
we've shared quite a lot before we even have a chance to play our guitar, but you know,
so, and that's
That's okay.
why, I think that's why the classes go so well. Is because everybody's so comfortable and it's so relaxed. It's not, no pressure on anybody to, and if you haven't noticed yet, Art is so laid back and soft spoken and you know, he's like a little pussycat, you know.
Yeah.
There
you go.
But he's good. And there's, you know, and there's times where I think in the first time you even made like, even in the parking lot, I think you even made like a little video of the song that like down in the valley. So,
Alright.
so you remember that?
to make, helping, wow.
To happen, so they would have something to take home with them
Yeah.
to practice with,
Yeah,
you know.
we've done different things.
It, you know, whatever it takes for them to have something to, but
Well, that's got to be really powerful, right? To create, to struggle with whatever you're struggling with, right? Because every person's unique and every person experiences the trauma differently.
everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Everybody's story is different, but yet everyone can still take something, you know, really great and wonderful out of the experience. Do you see people light up as they start
yeah.
to figure out like how to play?
Well, we've had many successes in the class, and there's one I'd just love to share. It was a story. This vet, he had a long day at work. And then, of course, the kids, and, he had to do things with his kids, which is, I don't mean to make it sound bad. It's a good thing.
Right.
And he is an awesome dad too. I'm friends with him. And he said, I got home and I was just so spent and I needed to get recharged, and I saw my guitar in the corner.
Oh.
And
we
and
told
I
them
picked
first
it up,
thing-
and
first
in
thing you do,
15
take it
minutes.
out of the case. When you get home, you take it out and you put it on your stand. Because if you put it in your case, you're not going to touch it until next week.
You'll never open it.
Right. But
Go ahead,
Kevin came back the next week and said, I got to tell you what happened to me. And it was such a great story, and it made Ron and I feel so good. We are making a good thing here. And he said, after playing 10 or 15 minutes, whatever, and he felt ready to go again.
Yeah.
Which was good.
And going through this, going what I went through, and even the Kobar Tower bombing was in '96, so it's been 26 years.
Yeah.
I still have my, I still have flashback. I go to Myers,
Yeah.
and I see something or I hear something, and but
Sometimes if we're in rehearsal and a sound comes over the,
Sure.
and that'll make them jump.
But just having these weekly classes or music or band rehearsals that we have every week is my therapy.
Yeah.
Just being able to do this, to help these other veterans going through whatever they're going through, that's my therapy.
And that's clearly the mission of what you guys are trying to do here, right? This is really music therapy.
Music therapy,
It
sure.
is.
Well, we should give you guys a chance to take a drink of water and catch your breath.
Sure.
Here I am throwing questions at you, which I
Oh.
guess if I have a job, that's apparently the job.
That's good.
And you, dear listener, your job is really easy. Your job is simply to listen. How awesome is that? And you are listening to WUDR Dayton. Flyer radio at the University of Dayton, a rock in the Gem City, music in all directions. Support your local music scene. You guys are great. I hate this microphone though. Something is weird with mic one and I don't know what. Because it just literally cut out. Oh, you look clean.
Like the old.
Well, that could be shocking. And I put the air quotes, but they're no. So what I might do is move some microphones around.
Whatever you'd like.
So I'm gonna put this guy over here for a minute, and I'm gonna pull this one out. If someone's, let's see, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. I'm gonna give you two, and I'm gonna put you on three. Oh, good catch, thank you. So let's see if I do something like that. Is that in your way to be able to see what you need to see?
No, should be okay.
Come on, Ron, you're the star. Now, is that in your way, sir?
No.
Can you see around it all right?
Oh. you have your tuner?
Mm-hmm.
You should probably make sure you're good. So we never said really anything about the band. That
Oh yeah, we should definitely come back and talk
Yeah.
more about the
I
band.
guess that would be
I'll play a couple songs and then come back. Maybe we can say a few words about the band, and then that's a nice lead into you playing a song.
okay.
Is that all right on your end?
Sure.
Because I don't mean to dictate in any stretch.
No, please, we need dictating to us.
No, you guys are great. You're gifted storytellers.
Hopefully, we're not too many ums and ahs. I know.
It's natural conversation.
Yeah.
And when I work on the see, I just did it myself. When we work, you're just searching for that right word. When you get the file, I can also edit some things out. If you want me to clean it up, or if you just want the raw file, I can do either way.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what we would do with it, but I know it would be good to have.
Yeah, no, oh golly, I'll definitely get the raw file to you immediately.
Listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative with Dr. J.
Dr. J.
A student started calling me Dr. J
Yeah.
years ago, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Dr. J.
Julius Erving.
Oh yes, right. See, you and I are of an age where that's exactly where our brains go. You know, because I remember I used to be telling the students, they would say things to me, "Oh, please move it wherever you need it to be." I'd be talking to the students, and they'd be like, "Hey, you're Dr. J," and I'm like, "I don't play basketball."
What do you teach?
Sociology and criminal justice classes. Yeah.
Wow, great.
Yeah, I've been at UD since '01, so I've been here over 21 years,
Wonderful.
which I still think I'm a new kid.
This is great. Oh, and how many years have you been doing this?
17.
Okay.
So this show we've done for a little over 17 years. I've done radio off and on since 1983.
Have they always had the studio, or did you
No,
start?
no. This studio opened right about the time that I arrived here, 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
And then you probably saw on, oh gosh, what is that? Stewart Street.
Yeah, it's a
they're
different.
they're building a new art center. They just broke ground not too long ago, and that's going to be a nice new facility for us. But not just the radio station, all the student media, a lot of music performance space and things like that. It's going to be lovely. The studio, this is great. I'm fortunate and blessed to be able to use a space like this. But it's
Yeah.
all backwards.
Oh, is it?
It should be facing the other way. There should be a pass through in the wall. Nothing is soundproofed.
Oh.
So the first few years I did the show, usually students would run up to the window and like, oh, they must be coming up to say hi. Oh no, they're coming up to say something really unpleasant at the top of their lungs, which will absolutely pass through this class. So I learned to see them coming and going, oh, we're off air.
Yeah.
And then they could yell whatever they want, and I would just wave.
Very good.
I laugh about it now, but it wasn't so funny, a few years ago. In all fairness, to be honest, the students don't do that anymore, thank goodness. But it's a real pleasure to be able to do this. I mean, my whole approach is to draw attention to local music, local events, kind of activities and organizations like yourselves that are working in the area that we need to draw attention to, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. So technically, when did everything start with the Dayton chapter?
In the fall of 2018 is when we met. And so
Okay.
our first class, and at that point we started the first generation of the band, and we would meet at the Beaver Creek VFW. So we should let them, say something about the Beaver Creek VFW.
So really kind of got started in 2018. The first classes were 2019?
Or the spring of 2019.
Okay, so obviously it took some time to get going, to get organized.
Right. And And any, you know, and we really didn't say any money that the band earns goes right back into the program, which I'll
Yeah,
try to talk about
because,
that.
you know, the
Oh,
band,
perfect.
Band, the Dayton Guitars for Heroes band is a non-profit band.
Right.
100% goes.
Which, these are our fancy shirts.
Well, you know, mine may not be fancy, but
All right.
I get
But it's a
advertising.
shirt.
I get it. Yeah, but okay, I can't lie
If the
about
shirt
that.
fits, wear it. That's the club I belong. Yeah.
Well, you know, pandemic hasn't been so easy.
And we just started. We've got we've had one gig of the band playing out as the band.
Yeah, I think you sent me that. Yeah.
So-
Sense of freedom.
So, because we're a nonprofit, we don't want to earn too much money.
Right,
We don't want
right,
to have too much money in the kitty,
right.
more than we can use. So, but we still like to play, we still like to make
And-
music,
And
and
we want
I gotta turn to
But
this.
certainly.
yeah.
do your thing.
Lucero here on your Tuesday afternoon alternative from their terrific When You Found Me record. That's Outrun the Moon. It's so cinematic, that song. And it was a real pleasure to interview members of that band a few months back. You also heard from my favorite band, the Connells, Stars from Stedman's Wake, here on your Tuesday afternoon alternative. We are here celebrating the efforts of Guitar for Heroes Dayton. They organized in 2018. They started teaching music classes in 2019. But of course, we have to point out that there's a band that goes
Yes.
with this as well.
The band supports the organization, and we're fortunate. We we've had different versions of the band, but we think we've got a winning group of guys. There's we have two Vietnam vets who both play guitar. We have Ron, who is a vet from the 90s, and I was in from the 70s to the 90s in the Air Force. And let me see, and then we have our buddy Al, and Al is not a vet, but you know, Al supports vets, and he's the most wonderful person, good drummer, great fit. We're a good family. Good. We call ourselves Guitar for Heroes Band.
Yeah, Al, let me mention Al. He came on board from the very beginning.
Very beginning.
Back in 2018 is when I think like November is when I first, because I started
Yeah.
putting the band together first.
Ron
And,
said, "Hey, let's all meet at the Beaver Creek VFW,
right.
just to see, just to talk about the program. Let's just run some ideas." And Al came with
One
a
of the
guitar
guys,
player
yeah.
who thought that maybe this was not the exact thing for him, but Al said, "Hey, you know what? I like this. I'd love to help out." And you know, he's been our the bottom end.
He's been our drummer since
Yeah.
the very beginning.
But so we have 4 of us that have been in the band since the beginning, which is great. Jerry, Ron, Art, and Al. But so it's fun.
Well, I was just gonna say, that doesn't always develop into a band, right? The classes are not the purpose, right? The purpose of the classes is not to necessarily form a band. It sounded to me like the band just kind of came together organically, naturally, you guys talking about the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we wanted to have a band to help support the program. And that's the neat thing about our group, the Guitars for Heroes band, is any money that we earn when we go out on a gig, and we've played about, I don't know, 20, 25 gigs or so.
I think you can.
And we,
That's quite a few
any-
right there.
yeah, and we've had
And
a lot of
that's
supports.
including COVID, you know,
Right.
because we had to cancel, I think, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We've had a lot of support from different VFWs, the AM vets, the American Legions, and whenever we play, we're a lot of people. There's so many people in support of the veterans and what we do. We're very fortunate. We find that we're able to have a nice beginner guitar set up for about $250, which will have a guitar, a strap, a tuner, a case, and at the end of the 12-week course that the guitar player will take part in, they get to go home with all these items, and all this helps with their therapy as they continue their life. And music is great therapy. And we'd like to do a song for you, and this is one that a friend of ours, Steve Gore, he's a vet from Indiana, he wrote the lyrics about his time overseas. And it covers some very real thoughts, feelings, and real truths that our veterans are living with. And this is Oh, Can't You See? Boarded a plane in '03, there were 5 of us that day, on a journey to our destiny. Young and strong and proud, our heads up in the clouds, not knowing just how hard we hit the ground. Oh, can't you see? Cost of life's burdens, they weigh on me. Oh, can't you see? Names and places and faces, they all haunt me. I can't close my eyes at night anymore. Oh, can't you see? Last time we were together was on foreign land. I can still see Billy's bloodstains in the sand. They gave us rings and medals for all the things we'd done, for taking the man's life at the end of the gun. Oh, can't you see? Cost of life's burdens, they weigh on me. Oh, can't you see? Names and places and faces, they all haunt me. I can't close my eyes at night anymore. Oh, can't you see? Every day I sit alone and I watch the sun go down, knowing that's when my demons, they come around. My mind and my soul, they try to tear away from me, take me back to places that I don't want to be. Oh, can't you see? I came home and my mama didn't recognize me. Oh, can't you see? Even my wife and my kids are afraid of me. I can't close my eyes at night anymore. Oh, can't you see? Jeff gave in to suicide. I stood outside and watched the flagging hearse roll by. The pain pill and the booze, well, they couldn't hide my tears. I'm just wondering how much longer I'll be here. Oh, can't you see? The cost of life's burdens they weigh on me. Oh, can't you see? Places and faces and names they're haunting. I can't close my eyes at night anymore. Oh, can't you see? Oh, can't you see? Oh, can't you see?
That's really powerful.
Yes. Steve, when Steve sent that to us, and he sent a video of another friend of his who performed, and he said, hey, whatever you can do, we're free to use it. And now, when we do this as the band, we have a couple guitarists that really play it well, and I'm a bass player. I'm the bass player in the group.
I think you're being a little unduly hard on yourself there. That was lovely.
Well, thank you.
When you hear a song like that, there must not be a dry eye in the house. I mean, that's a powerful song.
It makes people.
Yeah.
It really, the veteran is, there are some that are really hurting out there, and suicide